Welcome to our online business card design tool. I hope you're ready to have some fun designing your own business cards or drop cards. This online tool has all the features you need to create a very attractive business card or drop card for your business. My name is John, and I'll be giving you a brief tour of our online design tool and show you just how easy it is to create an effective card with just a few moments of your time. Now, forgive me if I seem to be going a bit fast for you, but that's just one of the great things about putting stuff like this on video. You can always click on the pause button if you're following along, or even rewind it a bit if you want to go over something again. So let's get started, shall we? As you can see from the front page of our site, we have two large buttons for you to choose from. We'll design it for you, or design your own cards. If you'd like us to design the cards for you, we'll do that at no extra charge, and we'll send you a proof image of what your cards will look like before we process your order. If you want to design your own cards, you'll click on this button right here, and this will take you to our online design tool. The first paragraph of this site tells you can add text, graphic images, logos, change colors and size of your text, fonts, and a variety of other things. The second paragraph tells you that it's not too late if you want us to design the card for you. You can just simply click here, you'll be taken to that section of the site, and we can create a card for you. The other important point that I wanted to bring to your attention is that if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see some tips for best results. The very first one is very important. It's telling you that this is a what you see is what you get kind of design tool. That means whatever you put on this card is what we're going to print. If you have spelling errors or grammar errors, then we will have no way of fixing that. So you need to make sure that you're comfortable with spelling and grammar and have all your information correct. If you mistype your address or phone number, then that's what we're going to print. So if you're comfortable with that, we'll continue to use the design tool. Now, the first thing you want to do is select your denomination. We selected the $100 bill because it's by far our best seller. However, you can come over to the drop-down menu and select any one of the denominations all the way down to the $1 bill. And if you want to just click around and see what the others look like, you can do that. This alert window is telling you that if you've made any changes to the design and you want to switch denominations, this editor will not save those changes. So if you want to continue, you can click on yes. And you can see some of the other denominations. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that this is the back side of the dollar bills. The front side looks like this. And again, you can switch denominations and see what the front side of each of those denominations looks like. And you can see from the front side that there's a fold line. So when you receive your cards, you'll know exactly where to fold them when you want to distribute them. This side is also not editable. You cannot put text or graphics or anything on this side. This is for display only. So you click on the back side and you can start making your changes. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is, after I've selected my denomination, is I'll insert a headline. So click on Insert Text and a text box will open up, and you just simply click inside there and start typing. Okay, I think that's a good headline, and click on Insert. You can see this element is selected by the border line. Now that's not actually going to print. You can click away from it to deselect it. That just simply shows you that that's the element that you have selected to make changes to. And the changes I want to make to this element right now is that I think the line is a little bit too small. So to change that, I'm going to come over to the text properties box and click on the font size, and I'll click on the up arrow a few times to get it to the size that I'd like to see it. Okay, and I think that's good, but I don't like the black font. I want my headline to be red, so I'm going to come over to the color palette, click on that, and choose a bright red color. And now I think I'm done with that headline, so I'm going to click away from it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to insert an image. So I'll go ahead and click on this button, and it'll ask you to browse for the image, and it's going to go to your hard drive where you store your images, and you can select from any files that are GIF, JPEG, or PNG. And I'm going to select this $Man image file right here, and it'll tell you which image file that you've selected. So you make sure you get the right one, and it'll ask you to upload image. Okay, so there's my little dollar man graphic, and again, the border line tells you that this element is selected, and you can click on it and move it and drag it wherever you want. I'm going to set him right over here, and I think he's a little bit small, so I'm going to grab one of these handles here, click and drag it to resize it, and then I'm going to put him right there on top of the number 100. And I think he's maybe a little too tall, so you can click on another handle to resize him shorter, or the side handle to thin it out a little bit as well. Okay, and I think I'm done with that, so I'm going to click away and deselect the element. I'm going to add some more text. Okay, I think that's enough text for one line, so I'll insert text, and you can see that the font that's selected right now is this font right here, Albertus Extra Bold, and I don't want that to be bold, so I'm going to go to the drop down menu and select a different font, and you can see we have a pretty good variety there. So I'm going to check on Albertus Medium, which is the same font family, and again I think this text is a little bit small, so I'm going to increase it a little bit. And I think that's good right there. So I'm going to move it and leave it right there and select away from it. And add another line of text. And I think that's enough for another line of text. So I'll click on Insert. And I think that's not as large of a font as the first line, so I'm going to increase that again. And if I think it's not lined up properly, or I'm not sure, then we have a button over here to show a grid, and you can align your elements along that grid wherever you want. And if you're comfortable with its placement, you can turn the grid off and then deselect, and I actually think that this is a little bit better there. Another important point that I wanted to bring to your attention is that this is also to be considered a border to keep all of your content within. The reason for that is because we use this as a cutting guide. So if you allow one of your elements to go outside that border, then you run the risk of having us cut too close and maybe cut off a little bit of your design. You'd really have to go off the edge to risk that, but just as a guideline, use this as a border to keep all your content within. So I'm going to add another line of text. And increase the size, center it a bit, make sure there's even space between the lines, and I think that's good. So one more line of text is going to be my website address. Click on Insert, move that down here. Now of course that's much too small, and I want to go back to the bold font, so I'll click on that, increase the size, and I think I'd like the color blue for website addresses. Okay, I think I'm pretty satisfied with that card. Maybe the headline could be a little bit bigger, so I'll increase the headline, select away from it to deselect. Another point I wanted to bring up to you about the graphics that you use is try to make sure that they're high resolution. I want to show you why. If you select on the graphic, we're going to zoom in a bit. Okay, you see how this graphic here has very smooth round edges? Okay, so I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, I'm going to select away from that. I'm going to import another image. Okay, businesswoman. And I'm just going to put this on top there just so I can illustrate what I'm referring to here. We'll zoom in. And this is what would be considered a low resolution image. And you can see from the low resolution image that the edges of the photo are pretty choppy or pixelated, and her face is kind of fuzzy as well. This is what happens when you get a low resolution image. And although low resolution images might be good for websites, they're not very good for print. So we'll zoom that out a bit. So you can see it looks pretty good from here, but we're not looking up close at it. And when it comes to print, it's going to be pretty fuzzy and pixelated when you get to those edges. So again, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this image. I'm going to go and save and continue. Okay, so the next page shows you a preview image of what your card's going to look like once we print it and send it to you. This is the front side. This is the back side that you just edited. What you want to do is make sure you check your card for accuracy. Again, check for spelling and grammar errors. If you use your website address or use your physical mailing address, phone number, email address, anything like that, make sure all that information is accurate before you click on the Order Now button. If you've made a mistake and you want to go back and edit it some more, click on the back button and you'll be able to do that. So if you're ready to order, go ahead and click on the Order Now button, and this will provide you with your ordering options. Scroll down a little bit, and the first thing you want to do is select your quantity. How many cards do you want? Do you want 1,000 or anywhere up to 10,000? These get incrementally less expensive per 1,000 as you increase the quantities. So let's go with 1,000 just to show you. And here's all your basic information, your name, street address, all the information that we would need to ship your order to you. So go ahead and include all your information there. Make sure you include your state and telephone number and email address that you use on a regular daily basis. If all this information is correct and your shipping address is correct and your billing address is the same as the shipping, go ahead and check that box and then it'll self-populate for you. Next thing you want to do is select your payment method. We accept either PayPal or Google's checkout. You can go ahead and select that. Go ahead and click Submit, and you'll be taken to the PayPal payment gateway, and you should be able to manage the rest from there. I want to thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope I've answered all your questions for you, and I'll look forward to your order. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free to click the Contact Us button and get in touch with us, and we'll answer any of your questions that you might have.